What if I told you you can lift unlimited amounts of weights by using only 2 fingers? And in this way I have been able to lift over 300 kilos in competition. There is this grip technique called the hook grip, and many people think that you have to use all 5 fingers to do it correctly. But in this video I'm going to show you how to hook grip, when to hook grip, and how to make it hurtless or not even hurt at all. In the beginning, it used to hurt for me too, but after I started using this technique, it stopped hurting, and since then, everything is sunshine and rainbows. There are a few grips people use to lift weights. There is a double overhand, which is the weakest one. There is the mixed grip, which people usually use for conventional deadlifts, and then there is also the hook grip. Double overhand and mixed grip usually have a flaw, they have a limit at how much weight you can hold, and this is why hook grip was invented. It was invented for the sport of weightlifting, but then it carried over to powerlifting, and athletes can now hold unlimited amounts of weights. You could even hold 3,000,000,000,3,250 kilos if you wanted. Hook grip is basically a technique where you wrap your thumb around the bar and then you secure it with your other fingers so that your grip don't slip. It creates a secure hold, and it also prevents the bar from rolling, and because both of your hands are in double overhand, you are also protecting your biceps. But how do you actually hook grip, and how do you do it without pain? Hook grip is mostly used by sumo lifters, and the reason for that is that the sumo deadlift feels more natural, and you might even feel more even during the lift. Using this stance, many lifters can lift more weights, but there is also a big downside to this technique. Because your hands are in front of your body, your arms and biceps are more vulnerable, and the bar can drift away more easily, and in this way, you might injure a bicep or even get a bicep tear. So hook grip for sumo is for most lifters a good idea. That's not the only time to use hook grip. Even when you are lifting conventional, mixed grip can sometimes give out, and because of that you are not lifting to your true potential because your grip is a limiting factor and not your strength. So instead of spending countless hours improving your grip, you can use this technique and never have problems with your grip again. So for me personally, I do not like the hook grip for the conventional deadlift because usually your arms are at the diagonal angle and you cannot set your grip as good as you would with sumo. Now let's get into how to actually hook grip. If you think that hook grip is complicated, it's really not. You just have to know what to focus on. The most important fingers for the hook grip are the middle finger and the thumb, and the rest of the fingers are just happy to be there and don't do much. The index and middle finger go on the thumb, and the ring and pinky finger go on the bar. Here's how to actually do the hook grip without pain and surviving this awful thing that people describe when they start to train it. So I'm going to show you how to hook grip using the sumo stance. You can also do it with a conventional stance, it doesn't matter, but since it's mostly used for sumo pullers, I'm going to show you in the sumo stance. So you basically want to take your sumo stance, whichever stance you have, even if it's wider or narrower, and you want to point your arms out like this, shoulder width, straight down. You want to find a spot on the bar where you will grip, so it's every time the same. For me, it's the index finger on the smooth part and the other fingers on the knurling. So you want to point this part of your hand down and you want to rotate your arms internally like this. So you want to press this part of your hand into the bar. Pull your thumb diagonally around the bar. Set your index and middle finger on the thumb and fingernail, and then the other 2 fingers on the knurling. And then you want to pull up to secure the grip. Rotate your elbows back, and then you can do a rep. A very common mistake athletes do when they start to learn the hook grip is that they start to put in reps and reps and reps of using hook grip and doing sets with multiple reps. And in this way, I can assure you, you will not learn how to hook grip and you are just getting sore thumbs. So if you actually want to learn the hook grip, I would recommend that you start using it in your warm-ups on 1 rep sets, meaning if you are warming up to, let's say, 260 kilos, for example, and you start your warm-ups, you can do like 170, 200, 220, and 240 for 1 rep. You can use hook grip to start learning it. For the beginning, when you're learning, that's totally okay, but there is something I like to call hook grip fatigue. You basically burn your grip out when you're putting reps and reps and reps in one session, and when you're at your top set, your grip won't be able to hold onto any weights anymore. This was a problem I had in my last prep for IPF Worlds, where I was starting to panic about my hook grip technique, and I was starting my warm-up with hook very, very early. And by the time I got into my top set, my hook grip was giving out, and it was basically giving out to the point where it mattered most. And I also dropped my last deadlift on the platform, but since I stopped using hook grip too much in my warm-ups and I used it only in my last warm-up and top set, everything went back to normal again. and for everything else I would use straps with double overhand. If you already know what the hook grip is and you have been trying it for a while and it still hurts like a motherfucker, I have a few tips that might help you reduce the pain or even not hurt at all. So the first thing you can do is to chalk up your hands. You can chalk up your hands like this, and you make sure that you chalk the inner part of your index finger and thumb where it goes on the bar. And also don't forget to chalk the back of your thumb and your thumbnail. Another thing you can try is to roughen up your thumbnail on the bar knurling. This might give you a little bit more grip. Another thing you can try is to let your thumbnail grow, and so in this way you have a little bit more space for your middle finger to go on, and it will disperse the pressure a little bit, and hook grip will not hurt as much. So that's basically everything you need to know for the hook grip. It's not that complicated. What clicked for me and helped me the most is to focus only on the thumb and the middle finger, and everything else will come into place. And as soon as you learn the hook grip, you'll finally lift up to your potential and you will never drop a deadlift again. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe. And if your fingers are still attached after this tutorial, make sure you give us a thumbs up. Also, after you tried this, let me know in the comments if it helped you, and you can also send me your videos on Instagram and I will help you out.